Ayo, it's podcast time. Let's do it. All right, so yeah, we're live. We are direct. I'm stoked about this one. Dude, I get a chance to talk to some of the dopest lifters in the world. I'm very fortunate in that I know most of the dope lifters in the world. This young lady is right now, she's the hottest in the game. Let's just be honest. It is what it is. Let me see. I mean, the girls want to be her, the boys want to be with her. She is the lifter of the year. I mean, must be nice. I don't even know what that's like. I only got bench press of the year once. That was it.
Okay.
She it can't even, like, honestly, like, there's records that you chase and then there's the record. She is the record. On her way to being the GOAT of the game. I'm super honored. I'm super stoked. Mr. Amanda Lawrence, I'm happy to have you here. Thank you for joining us. I'm
Oh my,
excited.
oh my, oh my gosh! What an intro.
That's what I do. Let's go. Now,
I must say, you are seriously the goat.
well, I'm
Like
working on it.
you're still at the top of the game, man.
I'm working on it, man. These cats have put me to the test. And if,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you, Amanda, that I try to tell everybody when I get a chance. You're gonna get older, but
Oh God.
don't stop
I'm
lifting,
24.
man.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Like, don't stop. Like, you have, oh my God, bro. The impact that you can make in this game is ridiculous. And you're setting the tone, which is,
I appreciate that.
man,
Yeah, like my first nationals in 2017, there was this lady, I think she was like 90 years old, going out there squatting
yeah,
like, a little over the bar, and like that is what I want. Like,
man,
I love it.
my first world championship. We were in Russia, right? And it was the first IPF Raw World Championship that they officially started, like 2012, 2013. I remember sitting there and watching everybody, and this chick comes out. I don't know if she's from New Zealand or from she's from like either from New Zealand or from Eastern Europe. That's all I know. And it was weird. It's weird to say back then in 2013, but back then, like, we didn't have like the USA singlets. We didn't have all like I think Titan sent us a singlet, and I mean, you had the option of wearing that or wearing whatever. And I think I wore like this hand-me-down black one that I started with. I don't know.
Before SPD time.
Yeah, like long story short, this lady comes up and she is 72 years old. And she's lifting in the open, and she's going for, like, at the time, it was like, because there was no world records yet. We had to set all of them. So she was going to set the standard for, I believe, like a world record deadlift, if I'm not mistaken. And I can't remember if it was so small that everyone was lifting together. She could have been open. She could have been masters. I don't know. But I remember they said she was 72 years old, and she was not a small lady. Like, she was like legit. She had to be like, I would say like 250 plus, right? Like, she was, and she was yoked. I'm like, oh, well, she had really dark hair. And I remember she walked out. I was like, wait, what? Because yeah, she's 72. Like, she doesn't look 72. That was my first time seeing somebody like over 40 lifting. And then like I was on one team with this guy Mel, who's like in his 70s. Dude, he sets a world record every meet that he does. So I'm like, you know what, man? There's something to this. Like, I want to get older, but I want to, obviously continue to lift and all that stuff. And I really didn't take it serious till, like, honestly, I started when I was like 33, 34. I didn't really start taking it serious till, like, no joke, till like year before last when I turned 40. I was like, wait a minute, there's something to this. Like, I really want to do this, not necessarily to keep winning. I mean, because honestly, you know how it is. Like, you work so hard to win a national championship, right? And then you do it.
Yeah.
Then you work so hard to win a world championship, and then you do it. And you're like, all right, what's left? Do I just, am I going to stay greedy in the game and just keep doing this and doing this and doing this? Or, what else can I do in terms of my life that, that's it's going to be a little bit more fulfilling, and at the same time I can keep lifting and keep being competitive. Like, well, dude, it's about longevity. So, like, and thank God you're not at that point yet. You got years. You got like damn near 20 years before you get to that point.
How many worlds have you done? Because
I've done them all.
I've done one.
I've done them all.
When did they start? I don't even know.
The raw one started like in 20, like they had a conceptual one in 2012. That was before I started lifting. And then 2013, they started doing for real. And the first one was in Russia. And it's just done this. I mean, it's been crazy. Like, crazy story. You're gonna laugh at this one.
Okay.
you may not be as emo as I am. Like you get hyped before a lift, right? And me, I get
Yeah,
super emotional.
I'm like Whistler.
Yeah,
You
dude. I
can
was like,
get
what
hyped.
is going? I always laugh. I'm like, how can they do that? Because me personally, once I'm so emo, once I get overwhelmed with that overwhelmed with that emotion, I can't focus. I can't think
Yeah.
of anything. All I do is see red. I'm not very good at lifting, like, at that high emotional level. I have to be like super like chill. You know what
Calm.
I mean?
Yeah.
And
All smiles.
yeah, like I smile, you know what I mean? Like, dude,
Yeah.
sometimes I'm crying in the back or I'm laughing in the back before I go. Last night, like I've been having like kind of trashy sessions just because, like, like I said, don't get old. If I take too much time off, like I have to take time off, obviously, to let my body heal. But if I take too much time off and I don't do anything at all, the comeback is so strenuous. So I'm in the
It's
middle
just
of that,
rusty. Yeah.
bro. Dude's not even rust, man. I'm welded right now. So it's
Oh
just like
no.
trying to grease the wheel and, you know what I'm saying, and get back rolling.
Yeah. 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 I mean,
I
I get the same way if I take a couple weeks off, but
Man, girl, I took almost a month off. Tripping. Who does
oh
that?
gosh.
We know we can't do that. We
Well,
can't do
it's
that.
like it's like kind of weird year though. So like, I mean, I could like see it. It's
Yeah.
been a lot of meets canceled, and then it's just like I could take today off, but
Yeah, man. I just, I don't know. It just drove me nuts. But I did, it was like 550, but I was doing it for sets of 5. And I can remember, if you can go to the logs, that was my heaviest squat at Worlds when I first started. And
50? Yeah. Okay.
I got so emo, dude. I'm like, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I sat on the toilet and cried for like 5 minutes. Cause like, I mean, it's the cool thing, man. And I think that's the part I'm really excited for. Like, I mean, like girls like you, Daniela, like I'm trying to think of Sam Calhoun. You guys that are early, like you're earlier in your lifting game. I'm so excited for you guys to build that body of work and to be able to look back like, bro, man, remember back in 2019 when I was just chasing for 600 and now, that's my opener. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm excited for you guys. So like it's one of those things where I was kind of thinking, I'm like, I think about so much stuff when I'm lifting, but I literally had to sit on the toilet because I was just kind of overwhelmed. I'm like, dude, I'm hurting right now. And at my worst, this is what I'm doing for sets of 5. All right,
Yeah.
I'm not as bad as as I think I am, but it's just one of those things where you like, dude, I just, it's
Yeah.
like you love lifting. I love this,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, you're just so passionate about it, and you just want to see,
Yeah,
yourself do the best you can do. No, I totally
exactly.
get it. I get it.
So
You
for
just
the
gotta shake it
people,
off.
the people out there that who did, there's some people out there that really don't know who you are, which is crazy to think. But for the people out there that don't know who
I'm new.
get out. Okay.
Hey,
Me too.
you were going to Worlds. You said 2013. I didn't touch a barbell till 2016.
Girl, get out of here. I don't even want to talk to you now. Must be
You
nice.
invited me on.
Must be nice. I'm like, hey, well, you know what? That's me. Thanks so much, Amanda, for being a part of this.
Oh yeah.
But okay, so that's awesome because that's a good segue into what into this next part. For those of the people that have been living under a lifting rock that don't know who you are, give them a quick rundown of who you are, where you came from, all that good stuff.
Okay. Well, my name's obviously Amanda Lawrence. I am 23 years old, turning 24 May 6th. So,
let's go.
My junior's time is, very short-lived left.
You better stack them all up.
Yeah. That's why we did this last meet in November to try to raise up those junior records just a little bit more.
Man, you got to be greedy with it.
Yeah.
I told Ashton the same thing. I said, dude, before you age out, you raise the bar up with everything junior. Make it the hardest thing for people to go. Like, you need to be the Rushmore.
Yeah.
You need to be on people's Rushmore. Like the coldest junior that ever lived, Amanda Lawrence, without a doubt. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. Please continue.
Yeah, no, he's definitely on my Mount Rushmore. He's insane. But I started powerlifting in 2016, January to be exact. I was just going to the gym to lose weight, doing like bodybuilding type movements, like watching like like Heidi Summers, Nikki Blackett on YouTube,
yeah.
learning just, bodybuilding splits. And my current physical therapist now, actually, shout out John Hager, he was going to the gym, and apparently I was like curling like 30, 35s, and that wasn't normal. So he's like, you should really try powerlifting. I'm like, what's that? So I don't know, I just started squatting, benching, and deadlifting. Once I got my like first pair of squat shoes, like I got on a squat every day program, believe it or not. That's like how I say like my squat is so good. Not that I recommend it personally.
Oh no.
I squatted every day for like 4 or 5 months straight. That's insane.
No, I've been there.
But
I've been there.
Yeah, you've done that?
Yes. I did Smolov. Like when I started.
Yeah.
Okay, because remember, like I said, we mentioned earlier, like how like 550 was my top. And girl, when I tell you my first meet, I did like 400 something. My squat was like 400 something, and I was fishing so hard for depth. I could not do depth to save my life. So I was like, I went to Worlds. I felt like I did well, but I felt like I got embarrassed by everybody. I'm like, you know what, dude, this is trash. I am going to go for over a year. It was like 13, almost 14 months. I squatted every single day. It didn't matter if I did like, sets of 5, sets of 20, a few sets here and there. And like at that time I was a part of a group of people, like we were trying to get, we still are, but I was working really heavy in the cheer world. So we would travel all over the world. So I was in Colombia, like every 3 weeks I was in Colombia working with Colombian teams and working with national teams in South America.
Oh.
So I would take my partner, who was maybe 110 pounds at soaking wet, and I would put her on my back, and I would either I would walk with her like a backpack, or I would just squat. But I did that every day, to squat to depth, because dude, I was just so, my hips were so jacked and so like just uneven and messed up. I didn't know what the chiropractor was and none of that stuff. So I started like squatting every single day for a year. Like I was like a year in a month, year and almost every day. So I know your pain, and I was
You're the first one I've heard like say that, like, because every time I said that to someone, they're like, "You're crazy." Like I'm like, yeah, you can't walk like the first 2 weeks, no big deal.
But dude, but correct me if I'm wrong. Once you do it, it's like you get so used to doing it, and the human body is so crazy, especially women. The human body is so just such an amazing adaptive entity that your body starts getting used to squatting every day, and it's almost like you feel like you get to the end of the day like, dude, have I squatted? No, I need to go. Like I get it, you know what I mean? Like your squat is bonkers. Like it's man, and it's so like it's natural, you know what I mean? Which is it's there's not a lot of tinks and tinkering to it. It's just natural because you've done it over and over and over and over.
Much.
Yeah, man. So you squatted every day for over 5 months, right?
Yeah, so that was, my squat like skyrocketed.
Right.
I really wasn't training bench that much, and then because I was just nervous, I was like gonna like drop the weight on me and then not be able to get back up without a spot. This is excuses. And I was at the time conventional deadlifting, and like I kind of had a cat back when I was pulling with it, and I just couldn't get sumo down. So like low back would hurt. So I just wouldn't really pull much. So like squat like that was my main thing. So like that was way ahead of everything else. And now they've rounded out, but over time. But that's why there was like, I don't know, such a huge gap, I guess, between like squats and deadlift and then bench at first. Like my first local meet I did for USA Powerlifting, I had no idea I was going in and breaking a junior American record with the attempt. So like that was crazy to see. Like not going in and not knowing, because my coach at the time just didn't tell me because he didn't want me to get in my head.
Right.
So yeah, that was 6 months of training. It was like 367 pounds or something, and then I went for 396, but got called in depth. Oh well. But yeah, we got it.
It's rep work now.
We got that at the next.
I think so, a little bit.
Yeah, but I guess my sports background, I was a big basketball and soccer player. Soccer, like mainly. I was actually supposed to play college ball, but I ended up senior year of high school fracturing my tibia, so that kind of went out the door.
Right.
Yeah, that wasn't fun. So then I just kind of got into bodybuilding, and I was going for a pre-med biomedical science degree. So I knew like basically if you're playing sports in college, like it feels like they own you.
Oh no, they do. Absolutely.
Yeah. So like
Absolutely.
I didn't think I had time for that. So, but then powerlifting quickly became like, the filler
Yeah.
for that, filling that void. And it was definitely a hobby, but now it's like I mean, it still is a hobby, I guess you could say, but maybe more like a job, but it's fun. It's a fun
Yeah.
job.
Well, it's one of those things where this is one of the few sports that you can do where it really is a hobby, but then it starts becoming such a prevalent part of your life that you
Yeah.
can't necessarily see your life without it. And then, there's all the, the externals and the, the intangibles that kind of come with it. I mean, and I
Yeah.
think that's the cool part because you don't realize how much of an impact you can make. Not necessarily trying to be like, oh, I'm gonna be Fitspo or I'm gonna be this inspirational source for people, but just hard work. Me and
Yeah.
my buddy were actually talking about it last night. People identify with hard work, no
Yeah.
matter who
Yeah.
it is. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you're, male, female, gay, straight, black, white, purple. It doesn't matter. People in general identify with hard work, and I think people have, especially with you, people identify with how hard you work, and the results that you get. And then at the same time, there's always a little bit, not necessarily of jealousy, but there's always a little bit of like, oh, a little bit of envy, like, oh my God, I wish I could do that. You know what I mean? Like, it
Hmm.
doesn't matter if you're,
Hmm.
because the weight that you're doing now and the amount of volume and all that stuff that you're moving, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. You're like, holy shit, I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and
Like
that's,
400 pounds, 500 pounds. Like, I
doesn't matter who
mean,
you are. Does
yeah,
not
yeah,
matter
it's a
who you
lot.
are. That's a lot of weight for a human being, period. And then
Yeah.
if you want to just be a dick about it, like, I actually, if you look at these numbers, and it's crazy, it's awesome for me because, like, if I write your numbers down, it just looks like a lot of weight. But you're like, this is a female that does this. What? Like, you know what I mean? And it's
But
awesome.
just
Go ahead.
watch 5 years down the line, like that being like, oh, yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah, but like, right. But the thing is, the awesome part about the day and age that we live in, we're in the now right now. It's weird because, some of this stuff, believe it or not, some of the stuff, that you're doing is, you can stop right now and people will be like, oh my God, like 4 or 5 years from now, it'll still be a benchmark that people are going to reach for.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
always
Who's
cite,
doing it first? Yeah.
it's always who does it first.
Yeah.
I always cite Ed Cohen because Ed Cohen's he was doing stuff then that people are still chasing now. And then at the same time, he was one of the first to do it. So, that's really how, in my opinion, a lot of people are labeled GOAT, because it's not necessarily how much weight they did. It was the time that they did it and the impact that they made when they did it.
Yes.
And just, to be honest, there's maybe there's maybe two people, maybe three people in the world right now that can, they can kind of do what you do. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like, all right, can they do this? And then can they add more weight later? And then can they add more weight later? And can they add more weight later? You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
I think the scary part is not just what you're doing right now, but the upside. Like, dude, what can she do? You know what I mean? And of course, for me, I'm always like, all right, I hope this youngster keeps doing it, keeps doing it, keeps doing it, keps doing it, stay injury free, keep doing it, keep doing it. Hey, are you hurting? Take a break. And I think that's the thing that's going to, that a lot of people don't stress enough is, it's okay to be at the top of your game. Like, you know what? I'm gonna take a break for a minute. You know what I mean? And so I was really, it sucked that COVID did to powerlifting and to just sports period what it did, but it forced us all to take a break.
Yeah,
And
and I think it may have been like almost needed because, like, honestly, like prepping for meet after meet. I mean, like we're doing the Arnold, or last year was supposed to be Sheffield, and then Worlds, and then Nationals, and being in a constant meet prep. Like, I don't know about you, but I always have these constant little injuries doing that. It's always when it's peaking for a meet. But last year I found, having such a long off season, I was able to stay, healthy year round, because you're not having to like force things quite as much because you're not, peaking.
Oh, and your numbers speak to it. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, I almost felt like with that forced break, I had so much fun lifting because there's not, I mean, it's weird. It's weird. It's weird to say it out loud, but it was like, there's pressure, man. You know what I mean? Not like crazy pressure, but there's pressure to be like, hey, you know what? You got to be the man every year. You got to, you know what I mean? Not necessarily set records, but you got to be at the top spot or one of the top people every single year. And not just in your weight class, but overall. every single year. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, if you want to, you want to get more looks, or you want to keep this sponsorship, or you want this and that, like, hey, you got to be one of the top, and it's that's for me. I was like, why is there pressure to do something that I love so much? But it's not necessarily pressure from the outside. It's that internalized pressure
from
that
yourself.
you put on. Yeah. Because I feel like we all identify as competitors, especially as top competitors. Like, hey man, I don't want to be one of the best. I want to be the best. You know what I mean? And I tell myself,
you have to have that mentality.
Dude, every single time I touch that body, I want to be the best that ever touched any metallic substance that's ever like touched my hands. Like, I want to be the best that ever touched it. I might not have to be the strongest. I don't have to have like a bajillion world championships. I don't have to have a bajillion freaking world records. But when it's all said and done, the same way that people talk about Ed, I want to be mentioned somewhere up there, like, bro, but LS, like, and again, it's, everyone has to have this goal and this dream, you know what I mean? Because like I said, after you win that first one, like, all right, well, cool, what do I do now? Do I just keep stacking these chips? Because at this point, as a competitor, as a champion, you're always going to be the world champion. You know what I mean? They can never take that away from you. So we're playing with house money. So what are we going to do with this, with this title that's, that you worked your ass off to get? And I think for me, that's the exciting part about watching you and really what you do. I mean, you lift and you lift very well, but then on the outside, you enjoy your life. You have a lot of fun, you know what I mean? And I think that's been the cool part, because it's cool to kind of, I don't feel like I'm the wise old owl because I'm still answering to the OGs, but I think it's been the cool part of having this role that's in the middle of being able to, what's the word I'm looking for? Be able to be on the outside looking in and kind of watching you guys develop and watching you guys get stronger and better and the impact you guys are making. And so for me, my thing has always been because I coach cheerleading in college. I always tell my athletes, like, hey man.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm a big time cheer coach, man.
That's why you're the hype man.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. You know what? I will be honest. I've never been a bad competitor. Like, even when I played ball in college and I did the pro stuff and I'm like, I was always that guy. You tackle me, I'm like, yo, that was a good hit, dog. Whoo, that was a really good hit. I'll help the dude up that just clobbered me. In track, when I ran track in college, the same way, like, I mean, I was kind of fortunate. I didn't really lose a lot. I mean, I was at a really good school, but if I got beat or the dude split was better than mine, I'm like, yo, you murdered me on that one. That was what's up. We need to exchange numbers, man. I had to figure out how you do.
Yeah, like, you're not afraid to admit it. Yeah.
Nah, man. So when you're competing, it's one thing to compete against people that you don't like, but it's another thing to compete with people that you don't necessarily have to like, but people that you respect and respect you in return. Because what you find is when there's mutual respect between competitors, it raises your game. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather lift with a person that I respect than lift against a person that I don't like. Because again, I don't necessarily operate off anger. Because at the end of the day, people say it's you versus you. It is kind of you versus you. But if your you isn't better than that person's person, or my you's not better than yours you, then my you's gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'd like to be in a situation where, like, you know what, it's an even playing field. I've been that guy that doesn't have anybody rooting for him. I've been that guy that, like, you know what, I hope he drops it. I've been that guy, and I never want to be that dude. I never want to be that guy that wins because this dude made a mistake. I want to win because Amanda went out. She lifted every single freaking, every single kilo that she could. She freaking PR'd. I did the same thing, and I won.
Just the strongest
person.
Wins,
yeah.
At the end of the day. Yeah.
And that's what it's about at the end of the day. Like, no politics goes into it. You know what I mean? It's just, it's about your output versus my output. Only thing is, even when I lift at the best of my ability, like, you're going to beat me on points. I'm like, God. So for me, I'm not joking.
Suck.
No, I'm not even mad at it. Here's the thing. Like, the rules are the way they are, and things are in place the way they're in place, and I can't be mad at that. So for me, it's dope because I'm like, all right, cool. So for me to even be in that same, stratosphere as Amanda right now, I've got to go 2,100. All right, bet, let's do it. And
if we're talking points here, but like, can you even compare them like across like?
You can, yes.
Gender? You can?
You can, but you can. You can.
Depending on the point system,
yeah.
right?
Well, for me, I compare in terms of the points. I'm like, listen, I've got to go at least 2,100 to even be considered to be in the same stratosphere with her, and that's fine by me because that pushes me to be a better. It's okay, cool.
That's
it's
insane
awesome
hearing that. Like insane, because you've been to Worlds literally every single time.
Yeah, man, but
I've
that's
been once. Like I'm trying to stay on your level. Get
well,
to your level.
that's fine. But here's the thing: my path is my path for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Your
yes.
path is your path for a reason. Like
Yes.
in terms of longevity, you're trying to get to where I'm at, and that's awesome. That's awesome, and I think you will. I think you'll surpass anything that I've ever done as a lifter. But for me, my goal is to get to where you're at in terms of overall output, because what you're doing is absolutely insane. And I mean, I know it's within my body to get on that level, but that means I have to be the best version of myself to get to that level.
Yes.
And why not try? Why not try to be the best version of yourself? I feel like my best version can be one of the best that ever stepped out on a platform. You know what I mean? And there's sometimes I walk on a platform, like how you walk on a platform and like, oh hell yeah, I own this.
I got this.
I own this. But then
you gotta have that confidence.
But then that same confidence that you have, you see it in the eyes of your competitors, like, oh crap, she's on another level today.
Yeah, just don't look over there.
Don't look over there. I've been on the platform to where like I knew like as soon as I step out here, I'm the man. Like I will not be stopped today. And I can look at my competitor, I'm like, you already know that you lost. It's a wrap. I know that. I can tell by the way you're looking at me like, shit, I can't, I don't got it. You know what I mean?
It's all in the eyes.
It's all in the eyes. It's all in the demeanor. It's all in like the body language. Like, so for me, I'm like, I want to feel that way anytime I step into it, like anywhere, but I know if I'm at my best version, I have that feeling. And again, I want that feeling all the time. And if I get to the version I feel that I can get to, I'll be honest, I can't get to it chasing guy numbers. I can't get to it chasing after Jesse Norris's numbers. You know what I'm saying? I know eventually I'm going to get there. And once I get there, like, okay, now what? You know what I mean? Like, I know that if I chase numbers that are just astronomical, that are like, out of this world, like, you know what? Why go for dude numbers? I'm going for that number. I'm going for Amanda's number. Let me try to get that one. Like, what do I need to do to get that one? Bro, you need to be knocking on 2,200 at least. What? Okay, bet, let's go.
That's a lot.
Has any 93 ever done that? No, 93s don't do that. Bet, let me try to do that then. You know what I'm saying? Because at the very, very least, one or two things is going to happen. Either I'm going to get hurt, but I'm going to go out like a straight G when I do it, or I'm going to get as close as physically possible to doing that, and I'm going to raise the bar for everybody that comes behind me. And I'm cool with that. I may not get there, but man, if I could just scratch it, I'm like, all right, bet. You know what I mean? And then at the end, I'm like, hey, man, I appreciate you. Thank you for the inspiration. Because like at this point, I mean, why not be inspired by the people around you? You know what I mean? And why not? I mean, you can only hate on a person for so long for you. I was like, why am I hating on this person? Because they're better than me, or just because they're doing something I just can't do? You know what I mean? Or am I just that insecure in myself that like, you know what? I just know that I just won't ever get to that point. So I'm just going to hate on them because that makes me feel better about myself. Like hate is it's such a dumb thing. So I just, at this point, I just embrace everybody that's doing better than me. I'm like, that's a bet. I need to get better. I mean, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about your insecurity of whether you're good enough. Like that's all it is. Half the time is hate. You hate on a person that's doing something that you can't do, and or you're hating on a person just because you have nothing else better to do. That's really no other option. So I don't see, to be honest, like you don't see Bill Gates hating on anybody. You don't see Jeff Bezos hating on anybody. You don't see people that have, not necessarily the haves hating on the have-nots, but you just don't see a lot of hate from people that are busy making life better, or making themselves better, or growing their business, or growing whatever's going on in their life. So you know what I mean, like I've noticed like sometimes you get a hell of a lot of hate. You know what I'm saying? But then you know what I mean? Maybe someday like, I'll entertain you for a little bit. I'll humor you for a little bit. But for the most part, you're like, you know what? It just is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. You can hate on me as much as you want. I'm going to be busy collecting these checks and collecting these dubs. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be honest, man. Like I've really been able to kind of not necessarily dissect, but kind of follow, kind of how you react to people and how you react to not just the hate, but, obviously embracing the love that you get, man. And it's beautiful to watch, because dude, most people just either they get lost in their own sauce, or number two, they just end up being just a cynical ice queen. So I can appreciate that. So I mean, like, why not, you know, like, why not, you know, try to take a piece of that you do? I'm like, I need to add that to my life. I gotta, you know, gotta be better. So again, for me, it's awesome seeing the work that you put on the platform, the work that you put in training, but again, how you know, how you evolve as a person. You know what I mean? Like, you start, I mean, you start as this young woman in the game, and, you know, by the time you get, you know, 10 years in, you know what I mean, you're going to be like that queen. So like, you know, and it's going to be, all right, well, what tone is she setting? Because it's not always going to be about the, you know, the numbers that you're putting up, you know, I mean, it's just, the numbers the numbers open up the door for people to see who you are. And then once they're in, like, all right, well, what is she about? Oh, whoa, she's way more than just a bunch of numbers and a bunch of records and a bunch of lifting. So I want to get to that. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, like, I definitely think, like, you grow with experiences. Like, I'm definitely not the same person from when I started, you know, lifting when I was like what, 18, 19. So yeah, I mean, like performance wise for meets, like this last meet in November was my first 9 for 9 meet. So which is crazy to say. So, you know, with time, experience, and just, you know, correcting things, putting in the work, keeping that, you know, dedication, drive up, like, you can, you know, make the changes, implement them. Like, that's on the side of like the platform things. But like, I guess like online, I haven't always like taken the hate so well in the very beginning. Like, it's very hard as like sometimes as a woman in powerlifting, like, you get the comments from, you know, non-lifters across the world that just, you know, they say the craziest things. But after a while, you just, you know, I guess attention is attention, publicity is publicity. Like, what if it's good or bad? But I don't know, like, for all of like the hate comments, there's so many more good comments. I like to think the powerlifting community, in this circle, is really, really positive. Yeah, I did not plan that.
Nicely done.
I think, yeah, thanks. I don't know. I've had a good experience with the powerlifting community. They've been like really, really positive, uplifting, and just everyone wants to see each other get stronger. It's just like the people like outside of that, like, that's when you get the weird comments.
Well, I agree. I feel like a lot of people, if you're not in it, you don't understand it, and
it's easier to say stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think what do they say? Like, it's like of IPF affiliated, I guess, people. I think we're between, I guess, 1.5 to 2 million, something like that, competitors, and
that's crazy.
We are very, and it's so weird to say, but we are very, as weird as, like, we're like 2 million strong, but we're so close in terms of, this is our bubble, this is our community, and, you know, we champion our people, and we have each other's backs. People outside that try to come in, it's like, oh, dude, you don't
understand.
Yeah, you don't understand. But
yeah, I mean, so many things can go wrong, and it's just like, it's you just gotta roll with the punches, you know. I mean, there's always another meet to like fix things, or another training session.
True.
Like,
and I think that's the best part, man, because we just, I don't know, man. It's people. I don't think people ever
not
understand.
In your shoes.
Not at all.
Not in your shoes.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And you know, and you look back on it, like, man, dude, like, if you knew the work that we put in, and I think that's the biggest thing.
Years.
Like, we recognize how long it. I mean, you can sometimes, like, you know, you'll get a program and your body responds immediately to it, like, oh yeah, dude, this is the one, and then you know. Or you'll have these goals in mind, and you know, people, you're never supposed to be married to numbers, but you're like, you know what, I'm gonna put on at least 10 pounds on my deadlift by the end of this block, and you swear, like, this is gonna be the one, and you get to the end of that block, and like, wait a minute, I got no gains. I actually decreased. Like, what's going on? And it's just that constant grind to just get just a little bit more, just get a little bit more. And I mean, people don't understand, like, if you see your total increase by 2.5 in your, you know, for the layman,
when you're already up there, it's a lot.
Yes, dude, 2.5, like, or if you're, you know, like, you're like, I mean, you're setting records, you know what I mean? I'm at that point now where it's like, all right, am I going to try to blow this record out of the water, or am I going to chip it? Either way, it's going to hurt. Like, when you get to the point where when records are we're at that point where, like, everyone's, like, not necessarily maxed out, but we're in that 99th percentile So if you're like, hey man, this record is 200, it's a 230 kilo bench. Okay, so you got to go 231. 231? Oh, okay, let's do it. Like, it's just the weirdest stuff. I mean, but you know, we all speak kilos now, and you know, we always have to convert from pounds to kilos, and you know, the kilo plates are heavier than pound plates. It's just we're just in such a weird community, but we're all a part of it. We all recognize it. We all love it. And if you're not a part of it, like you're gonna be weird. Number one, you're gonna bash each other or bash the people that you watch. And number three, I think more importantly, you're never gonna be accepted or be understood by those people that are already in the community. So it's like, I mean, you know, and we're really good about just like canceling people, like, oh, this guy's he's a weirdo, or this guy's a, you know, he's a
social
creep.
media is the worst for that. Or like even like, I don't know, creating like rivals between people too. I feel like it's all like, you know, it's a business, right?
Yeah, like, well, I think it's weird. I love saying back in the day, back in 2013, but like back in there was really no like rivalries like that, you know what I mean? But I think the first big rivalry that that they tried to create was really Brett Gibbs versus John Hack. Then after that, it just kind of grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. And then, you know, we get to, oh, well, now let's match up Amanda versus Daniela. And this is it's cool / not cool in that you guys are both the sweetest freaking people that walk the planet. And to pit two young women against each other that are raising the bar for the whole sport, it may be the dumbest thing that I've personally ever seen in my life, because this is powerlifting. It's not a tabloid. You know what I mean? You know, and it's I feel like such a, I don't know. I'm soapboxing yet again. But it's such a struggle at this point, you know what I mean, for women to catch proper recognition for being an athlete and not being a sex symbol, or not being super cute, or not being judged off of their physical appearance, but rather, you know, rather just the content and the numbers that they're putting up. Like, why not just embrace that rather than like, all right, you know what, let's do this versus this. And don't get me wrong, again, I feel like a lot of it's just fueling the fact that, you know what, they do stuff that no one else can do, and they're so far ahead of the field. What else are we gonna do? Like, you know what I mean? My daddy always makes me laugh. He's like, well, you about to go do the gladiator thing again? Every time it's World's time, he's like, you about to go do the gladiator thing again? I'm like, yeah.
I love that.
Because he's like, I mean, and it really is, at the end of the day, that's really what we are. Like, we just go out, people sit and they watch, or they run the computers and watch, or they'll be on their phones and watch, and they'll just make their comments like, oh, well, I can't believe he didn't go 9 for 9, or I can't believe she, you know, her depth's not where it needs to be, or I can't believe, you know, that pause wasn't long enough. Whatever. Everyone has, you know, but we're there to entertain everybody. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I get it, but I don't. So then at some point, like, all right, so it's not enough to watch two badasses go at it. No. Let's do some more. Let's add some more to it. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. You know, I just, you know, they tried to do it with Blaine and with Ray. They tried to do it then, and they just wouldn't have it. Like, dude, we're two of the best in the game. You know what I mean? And then, you know, I just feel like you guys have done a real good job. Like, it's really not like that. We're trying to do our thing. But people keep trying to go back to it, and people keep trying to make rivalries, not understanding, like, you know what? If you were in the gym, you know, with either one, if you were in the gym with any of these top competitors nowadays, you realize, like, the last thing that we're thinking about is your competitor, because you're lifting weight that can kill you, dog. You know what I mean? Like,
seriously.
that's all I think about now. You know what I mean? And you know, I think we're at a point now where, you know, it shouldn't be about the rivalry, especially right now. It shouldn't be about rivalries, but rather like the uplifting of the sport. I mean, I know Gaston is working so hard to try to get us Olympic recognition. I've been on that side of trying to, like, with cheer, trying to work to get a sport Olympic recognition, and it's not easy. And I mean, one of the biggest things, obviously, is the showing of solidarity. And when you try to pit people against each other, it really breaks apart a sport. So, I mean, and I think that's been, again, one of the things that I've been able to watch, like, kind of doing my owl thing, kind of watching, like, dude, you know, you do a really good job of handling a lot of the the assumed created rivalries. And then, you know, I mean, a lot of times it's just about, you know what, I'm not even going to fuel it. I'm just going to go do my thing. And you know what, you talk all you want to talk. I'm going to be over here grinding. And
Mhm.
I can always appreciate a person's grind. I always appreciate your grind. I appreciate, you know, you probably have some of the most effective and loud silence of any athlete that, you know, that I really like follow. I mean, I follow a lot of athletes, but yeah,
Yeah,
very
I
effective
appreciate that.
silence.
Yeah, I'm big on like letting the, you know, work do the talking. So
Absolutely.
I'm not big on talkers if you can't like back it kind of thing. Like I've just
Absolutely.
never been
Well,
a fan of
at
that.
the end of the day, bro, like let's be honest. You can talk all you want.
Okay.
You can talk
I,
all you want.
I guess.
But if it doesn't,
I'm not that kind of person.
well, but I'm just saying, you can talk all
Yeah.
you want, but if it doesn't show up on the platform, you just wolf. Like, dude, get out of it. This thing's just wolfing. You know what I mean? Like, and I've competed against people like that. I compete against people that talk so much trash.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro.
But if you can't execute, what does it matter, you know?
Oh man.
I've learned that the hard way, like for sure.
Haven't we all? I mean, but it's a part of it. It's a part of development as an athlete. Here's a question that, you know what I mean, that I mean people, I don't know, at least I want to know. I don't really care about what people want. I'm so selfish with this podcast.
Well, hey, it's yours. Right?
Aside from lifting, we know that you lift. I mean, we all know that, and you lift very well at the highest level. What other stuff do you do, man? Like, you know what I mean? I know you don't just lift.
Yeah, so like I'm big on, you know, I live in Minnesota. I go up north a lot, and you know, we go boating, fishing, you know, just a lot of outdoor type stuff. I'm not big on snow though, because it's cold. But I'm not gonna lie, like a huge part of my life, just because of the level that you know, I'm having to maintain for lifting, like it does take up like a lot of my time.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's kind of hard explaining that to somebody who like doesn't lift. They can't understand, like, you know, why how can you like be in the gym 2-3 hours a day, like you know, like why don't you skip any days, like they just don't understand. But like in order to like, but you have to keep up that dedication, that consistency in order to, you know, maintain and continue to get better. So yeah, like go up north a lot on the lake and whatnot. I've always really liked beauty type stuff. That's just what I like.
Yeah.
I like traveling a lot. Actually going to Tampa here next week, so excited to do that. I'm gonna go to Evan VPN gym. Evan lives
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah. It would have been cool to do the VPN trip last year, but hopefully we can, you know, do that this year so I can get to see you. But you're right by the headquarters, so
yeah, I'm supposed to be going there this. I told Nick I was gonna come up this weekend or this week. I was like, I'll just text you when I come. I don't know when, but I mean, I usually show.
Are you really close there?
Yeah, I'm like 20, 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, go lift there. Crap.
Yeah, man. I'm excited about that.
Awesome.
I mean, I told him, I was like, I want to have the first 700 squat in that thing. I'm just gonna try to break it in. I'm just gonna try to lift on everything. I mean, they're really dope. They're really, really dope. For those that are listening, for those people that are listening right now, that don't know what we're talking about Nick Bear, Bear Performance Nutrition BPN. Amanda and I, we're not only USA teammates, we're also teammates with BPN.
What's up?
They've been holding us down. It was just weird because, you know, I was with another company before, and I got to know Nick really well, and his brother Preston. I just really like the dudes. They're actually they're from up in Pennsylvania. I mean, I'm very familiar where the area they're from, and we just, you know, kind of clicked or whatever. I don't know, it was just weird. So like, long story short, I just really liked the dudes, and so I just left the company that I was with because, like, you know, I was already just going to BPN, just hanging out with the guys, just getting to know them, just saying what's up, and I just really liked the dudes. And Nick just started just giving me products all the time. I'm like, you don't have to do that. Like, I'll buy it. But he would just give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. I'm like, dude, I will buy it. And so I went one time to buy some stuff, and I was like, hey, I wanted some greens and some reds. Like, I just want greens and reds. And so he gave me greens and reds. He's like, hold on, I'll be right back. So he goes back, and that was right when they were just giving out with the bars and all that stuff. So he comes and he goes, dude, these haven't even coming out yet. I want you to try them, tell me what you think. So he gave me 2 boxes of those. Then they went back, oh, we just got this new flavor. So he gave me that. Dude, he ended up giving me like, it was like almost like $1,000 worth of product. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And so I give him my card and everything, and the guy signs a card or whatever. And then Nick comes like, hey man, put that back on his card. I'm like, what are you doing? And the thing is, like, I would rather buy from my friends and show my friends support than be with a company. It's not that I didn't like the company I was with, but I'm like, I'd rather give support to a company and to people that I appreciate than be with a company that I'm just with just to be with. You know, I have to be proud of it. Whatever I do, I have to be proud of that. And I was proud of Nick. I was proud of, of the growth. I mean, because, I hadn't known him since they had the old warehouse and everything. So I was like, yeah, man, like, I want to help you guys grow whatever little way I can. And I was shouting them out my stuff. And then, I don't know, like literally was it before the Arnold? Right before the Arnold? Like right before the Arnold, they called me, picked me up. I'm like, wait, what? Oh,
yeah, I saw them like, yo.
I'm going to be 100 with you. I didn't expect that. I mean, because I was like, they call me, hey, man, we want to talk to you. I'm like, all right, what's up? I mean, they call all the time. So I'm like, hey, what's up? But I'm like, we want to talk to you. Usually it's like one. And like, yeah, man, what would you think about it? I'm like, I mean, I guess I should say yes. I mean, why not? You know what I mean? Like hard part, I think the hard part with anything when you really like something and when you really like a company, and I mean, and at that point, you know what I mean? Like I'd already, at least with you, I'd already like with half the athletes, like, dude, I'm obsessed with these people already. Cool, I'd love to be a part of that, but you can't you got to play cool. Like, I mean, yeah, dude, that'd be cool. In my head, I'm like, hell yeah, let's go.
Like freaking out, yeah.
Yeah, and then when they announced it, I mean, obviously, you showed so much love right out of the gate. I'm like, dude, hell yeah. And then, I mean, it's just like I said, I will never say something about a person that I don't really mean. Honestly, you have to be one of the nicest freaking people in the game. That's just, I don't think that you're misunderstood. I just think because you immerse yourself in your work and you work hard and you're committed to that, people don't get to know, like, this chick is actually one of the sweetest people in the game. You know what I mean? And I mean, you can't necessarily, people are used to champions. It's hard to identify with a champion. It really is.
True.
Like, I mean, I honestly, I never, as much as I love Jordan, and as much as I love Tiger, and as much as I love LeBron, it's hard for me to identify with those dudes on a champion level until they do like real stuff. Like, oh, well, LeBron's he's dancing with his kids. Oh, I identify with that. You know what I mean? The more human that we see our champions, the more we can identify with them. Yeah. And I think you do because you immerse yourself in your work, sometimes people forget, like, yo, she's a human being. And then like when you post something that's like, oh, it's cute with her pets or whatever, or you know what I mean? Oh, she's out on the lake. Yo, I go on the lake. Like it becomes a lot more identifiable, and people are like, oh, word, she's actually super, super nice. And I think
I think people like seeing that kind of stuff like what you do outside. That's why I like YouTube is so cool.
Yeah, man, people get to see your personality, and then I think for me, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to get this chick in my life. I need to figure out more about her. Because we just, like I said, I feel like we're both at a point in our living careers where like, all right, cool, I can be friends with here, and here, but I only have 6 hours in my day that I can actually do any other stuff, because I know 3 to 4 hours is going to be committed to me being in this gym, and I can't mess around when I'm in this gym as much as I want to.
Kind of run into the thing, like, I don't know about you, where like, okay, if you have like a heavy squat or deadlift session, and I think you train at night, you said, or later in the day, like you have to like think about like beforehand, like obviously getting in enough food, like what is your activity level before, like don't want to be taking too many steps, or like like there's so many things that like like I never used to think this way when I was just powerlifting just for fun, like more of a
Yeah.
hobby kind of thing, before it kind of came more of a job, I guess you could say, with
Yeah.
being an full-time sponsored athlete coach.
Yeah.
But like I feel like I don't go out and do like I second guess if I want to go snowboarding or something, or
You don't want to
like
hurt yourself.
ski. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like I try to play it safe.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, we have it's. I thought, at least when I first started, I thought like, oh, I have such a small window of time, but then you realize like, dude, I have a large window of time. But in you know, in respect to like those big days, those big lifting days, there's such a small window for your body to be at that peak performance level for that specific point in time. You don't want to risk it.
No.
I can always go snowboarding. I can always go downhill skiing. I can always go snorkeling. I can always do that stuff. But right now, I've got to put some insane amount on my back, squat down with it, and stand up with it.
Yeah.
Then I got to take a small little break, and then I got to go put some baby elephant over my chest and pretend like I can hold it for a little bit, and then press it back up. And then if, God willing, I have enough energy left, then I'm going to try to pull a coffin out of the ground. Like, like I need every bit of energy that I have. And I think people forget, at least I know you're like this. I'm not even going to pretend like you're not this. When I know that maybe, you know, on Monday I have an SBD, or, you know, somewhere midweek I have like my heavies, I'm like, all right, 3 or 4 days leading up to that, that is all I can think about.
Yeah.
Like the day of, I wake up nervous, like, oh shit, today is the day. Let's do it.
Like, yeah, you gotta go.
All day long, I'm like, all right, well, should I even do anything? You know, I might just order food and have them bring it to me. I don't even want to waste my energy.
Like, conserve as much as possible.
As much as possible. You know what I mean? And like, I love that feeling, man. I love knowing, it doesn't matter what the weight is. It can't just be like, you know, it could be a PR double or a PR triple or whatever. I just know that I love that feeling of knowing nothing else today really matters. I'm just going to try to coast as much as I can through the rest of the day so I can get to this session. And God willing, it is the best session. And I don't have to just super PR, but if I just do better than I did last time, that is going to make the rest of my day amazing. And it makes me look forward to the rest. Because I'm playing with house money at that point. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know that there's a competitor alive, especially in the powerlifting game, that doesn't have that feeling like, you know what, none of this day matters.
Which sounds so bad, right?
It sounds so bad.
Like, and then if you're like second guessing like what to do for like activities beforehand, God, it sounds lazy in a certain sense, but you're just trying to do your best.
You're trying to do but the thing is, there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into this. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, that's why like when you ask like, or like powerlifters, like what they do like a ton like outside powerlifting, it's like, well, powerlifting is huge.
But this is it's our like your day. It's our job. It's our fun. It's our hobby. It's our escape.
All in one.
It's our therapy. It's all that, because I mean, you know, sometimes, I mean, there's sometimes that I have to be around people. And I'm like, all right, well then I'll just go to my gym and I'll train with people. But then there's sometimes like, this needs to be me blacking out, going nuts, staying within myself, focused up. I got to be at home. Like, I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to deal with anybody. I don't want, because it's hard, because I mean, you know, sometimes when you're at a gym, people want to ask questions, or I don't know why, but it doesn't bug me, but it kind of bugs me sometimes. Like, especially when you're like right before that, you're focusing up for a lift. Like, oh, so when's your next meet? Hey man, let me finish this first. Or hey, so what do you like? Will you check me out? Will you spot me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't mind, but there's sometimes where, you know, where you're trying to turn everything off and you're trying to just zone in. And I just, you know, so sometimes being at home it makes it so much easier. Some people don't have that luxury, and that's fine. But, you know, I mean, there's sometimes I need to be with people, and there's sometimes I have to be by myself, and I just want to black out and just have the greatest time I can alone. I don't know, man. Like, go ahead?
But on the flip side of that, because I always train at home.
Right.
Because in Minnesota, we have the big powerlifting gyms like you do in Texas, which I'm jealous of. I love coming down there. But like the closest like powerlifting gym, because I mean I'm not gonna go to like a commercial one nearby. It's like an hour drive.
Right.
So like for me, like it is great getting to, you know, just go out to the shed and always have a rack available. Like I always hate like having to like, you know, not know if you're going to be able to get in a rack or something.
Yep.
Or get on the comp plates, because there's far too here in Minnesota. But then like you get kind of like, sometimes it's hard to get in the same like mindset like when you're not surrounded with that environment sometimes. But after a while you get used to it. But like I feel what you mean though, like how like sometimes being alone, like for me, like I lift pretty hype, but if I want to scream or yell, like I think I could.
Man.
I think people also get the wrong impression of me sometimes, because I do lift so hype.
Yeah,
it's just what I do, that they think I'm like that.
Yeah,
which I'm not.
I mean, I feel that because I live I live like I'm super like chill when I lift, but in my head, everybody is dead. Everybody's dying. I'm killing everything. Like inside, I'm telling you, I'm erupting. But on the outside, I'm like, I've got to save everything.
I wish I could do that.
You can, but I'm telling you, but you understand what I did. Like as far as a football player, that's how I played. I played within myself. I'm one of those that you're very good at. You can control your external emotion and you can channel it toward external output. Me personally, I cannot control my external emotion to the point where I'm going to get great external output. I will lose my mind. I've lifted angry one time. One time in my whole lifting career, we were in Puerto Rico, and it was the first time that I was going to be benching over 5. And
that's a lot.
I
squat that. I'd squat.
You rep that. Calm down. You rep that many times. But it was my first time to be benching 5, and I was so angry. All I saw was red. I don't even remember the meet. I don't remember lifting. I don't remember warm-ups. I walked in angry. I left angry. And
oh my gosh. Okay.
I don't remember anything. I'm just not very good with anger. Like
you're like all in or all out kind of thing.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. So I mean, but like, you know, people think, oh, Ellis is so happy. I'm like, dude, you have no idea the rage that's inside when I'm lifting. I mean, it's
you gotta go to like a dark place sometimes
to
like
my gosh.
Get that weight up. I don't know how to explain it.
Dude, there are sometimes, you know, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, there are some times that you get so wound up, you get so hyped, you get so focused on the weight in hand, you don't even feel it when you have it. You lift it, especially with squat. Dude, sometimes I will just be so dialed in. I don't feel the weight. I just know that there's weight on my back. And I just know that I need to hit depth and I need to stand up. I need to stay within my technique. And then once it's over with, it's just like everything comes rushing back. Like, did I just do that? You know what I mean? And then like, you know what I mean? And it hits you like, oh my God, I just PR'd. Like, if you're not in it, you'll never, people will never know how much of an addiction that is.
You're just like on adrenaline. Like seriously, like walking out like for, like, cause like I said, I just did Worlds for 2019 once, and then but Nationals I've done 3 times now.
Yeah.
But like walking out for that prime time at Nationals, it's just crazy about it. Like, you know, cheering on screen and yelling at you. It's just like you don't even feel present. Like you're just going out.
It's such an out of body thing. But dude, that's where the training, the hours and hours and hours and hours and commitment and the sacrifice and all that stuff, what all comes ahead, because any other person from the outside looking in, they would piss their pants and they would forget everything they were supposed to be doing. But because you're a trained athlete at a highest level, you know how many steps you need to take out. You know how you're supposed to brace. You know all that stuff because you've done it. Second nature. It's absolute second nature. Here's my question, because I mean, some people know, some people don't. Which one is more hype for you, Worlds or prime time?
Oh, at 100% prime time. I was just gonna say, Worlds, like, I wasn't used to that kind of thing because that is more of a professional meet, I guess you could say.
Right.
So like I was like screaming and yelling at myself, and I'm like, oh, am I too loud?
Like, you think about it, yes. It almost feels like Worlds is almost so execution based, and you know what I mean. And it's almost like, all right, I need to make sure that I execute. Number one, all my sponsors are watching.
Yeah, like
my biggest sponsors.
You can't mess up.
No, you can't mess up. I'm like, all right, you know, like I'm like, all my sponsors are watching. I have to re-sign my contract later. This coming. There's a lot of people on the live stream. You know, it's all like it's execution based. I mean, and obviously you add the international element to it. It's like all these people that follow me, that I've been conversing with, that have been buying my stuff, whatever. You know, a lot of them have come. There's people that have come from, you know, Eastern Europe to come watch all this stuff, whatever. It's such an execution based thing. Prime time is like, all right,
another animal.
Freaking lights, camera, action, let's go.
The lights. Yes, the lights. I think that's what makes all the difference. Because you can't, like, I don't know about you, but when I'm on that primetime stage, I can't even see. There's so many people, I can't even see people.
Primetime is so packed, and you already know, like, I mean, it's like you see a lot of people, like people come from the 63s, you know what I mean? They come from the 84s, they come for the 93s and the 83s.
Yeah.
And so, you know, like, oh crap, dude, I'm going to have one of the biggest crowds every single time. You know what I mean?
I love that. I feed off of that.
Man, and me, I get so mad because I don't enjoy the moment when I'm there. I'm like, I don't see anything. I don't hear anybody. All I just hear is just waves of rage. And if I'm lucky, maybe some South Park episodes that I'm watching in the back. I just crack jokes. I have a good time, like with my competitors. But as soon as it's go time, I'm like, dude, I've got to kill it. And then of course there's the Arnold, which is for me the most fun meet ever. I always elect to do the one in the hall because it's like a little bit of prime time.
It's a different vibe. That's what Ray does too.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's like nationals primetime kind of. Because
really,
I did that for 2 years, and then I did the Grand Prix, and it just wasn't the same.
I'm never gonna do the Grand Prix.
But it's like the lights and just the I don't know. It's just
that wall,
so
dude.
Different.
People don't like that wall.
It's loud.
It's loud. The wall, like I always wish that every lifter could lift in primetime or lift as an Arnold in the main hall, just to be in front of that wall.
Yeah.
When
there's no describing it.
Yeah, like it was like 2 years ago. I tried to cut down. I cut down to I waited like 83.7, and I wanted to cut down as much as I could. And I remember we walked out, and I mean that's the most I've ever cut down to. And I remember I was kind of like, are these lights really spinning like this, or just because I'm so dehydrated? And Ray, I'm leaning on Ray Williams so hard. I'm like, hey man, are these lights spinning like this? And just he goes, no.
I'm tripping right now.
Dude, he looked me dead in the face. He's like, LS, one, you need to drink some water. Two, yes. And then so once I kind of get rehydrated, I'm sitting there, and Ray's like, you want to walk back out there? So we walk back out there, and he's like, hey dude, do you not feel like a rock star right now? I'm like, bro, I feel like a rock star right now. Like, it was the best feeling, man. And then, of course, that year, they used that same big video wall for primetime. Yeah. I'm like, dude, we're rock stars again. I mean, it was, I love, and the thing is, like, I mean, you go to Worlds, and Worlds is such a, you know, it's so formal in comparison. Like, it's so formal, and, you know what I mean? Like, it's nice, and, you know what I mean? Like, you could see everybody's got their, you know, the SVD singlets on, and, oh, hey, how you doing, Russia? And how you doing, France? Like, you see everybody like, oh, what's up? You know, and, you know, the boom mics are coming down, and the, like, you know, cameras in your face, and you're like, also, this is what it looks like, because I can actually see. Okay, so this is
intimidating to me. Like, when I saw the stage, I'm like, oh.
You know, and then But with prime time, you don't get to see anything. You just hear Gino in the background. You hear some music. You hear people yelling, and then you step out there, and then it's just you can't. It's just for me, everything just goes dark.
The room looks so small. It's so full.
Yeah, man. Like it's just you just see people on people, and and it's. I wish every competitor at some point just knows what that feels like. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and it sucks because let's be honest, like 99.9% of competitors will never know what that feels like. I mean, but again, it's a blessing and a curse because like we work hard to get to that level. We were genetically blessed in a sense to be able to move the type of weight that we can to get to this level. There's people that work just as hard that don't get that result. You know what I mean? So I do consider myself lucky on a lot of on a lot of levels, but I also know that just like you work as hard as you can to be deserving of all the accolades, all the awards, all the wins that you get. Like you work for it. I mean, nothing's handed out to us. Yeah. So I always appreciate the work that you put in because you don't sleep. You don't sleep on your competitors. You don't sleep on your work ethic. You work and you work and you work and you work. And you do it in Minnesota, bro. And it's so cold. So cold. Fun fact, I actually signed up for the Minnesota State meet December 19th. I signed up for it, but it was full.
Last year. Oh, shoot. Oh, so did you sign up for the one? No, I think it's March. You do nationals. Yeah. I hope they can replicate the same kind of like stage because I think it's a huge stadium if I'm not mistaken.
At where, for Minnesota or for Nats?
For nationals.
Oh, dude, Nats is.
But who knows? Because they can't have that amount of people there with COVID.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. The venue that they're having it at, I know it very well just because I've coached cheer teams all my life.
Oh, okay.
That's where they have. Well, that's part of one of the venues that they have college nationals at.
Okay.
So it's a pretty decent size. It's pretty big, and I mean it'll be enough space. It's just I don't know. I feel like it's going to be. I don't know.
It's gonna be different this year.
I'm scared.
Like distancing and
like I mean that's part of the reason I definitely got to get this vaccine because I just
and
it's in the middle of Florida. Texas is already bad enough. That's one less thing I want to worry about.
Yeah.
But I want to be able to go and just have a good time. And honestly, I've qualified as a 105, a 93, and a 120. So I was like, I'm just gonna.
Wait, what are you gonna do? What? That's 3 weight classes.
I wanted to see if I could do it. Like I was in so much pain. I did the Arkansas State meet on the date that I was gonna do the Minnesota meet just because like Minnesota was full. So I was like, I'll just do the Arkansas State meet. So I did the Arkansas State meet. Shout out Robert Keller for the dopest meet ever. And I mean, Arian was there, our coach, the national team coach. Arian was there. So like, he's like, yeah, well, he goes, if you're going to set any national records, I'm here. I'm like, all right, cool. So I ate as much as I could.
What did you weigh?
I weighed, you ready for this?
Okay.
108.
Okay.
I
You're light.
As much as I could.
You could have just drank a lot.
I did. Amanda, I almost threw up. Like I drank.
Yeah. I know the feeling. It's bad.
I ate as much as I could, and then I drank a oh God, I want to say that morning I woke up, I drank a half gallon, and I didn't have to wait until 1. I was like, all right, cool. And the hardest part was like, don't pee. And so I was like,
cool. Hold it.
So then I was like, I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna drink. I drank some Gatorade, just kind of, because I mean, obviously, like I was getting headaches, so I drank a little bit of Gatorade, and then I was like, all right, let me have some carbs. So then I ate some spaghetti. I'm like, all right, that's gonna absorb some of this. Have some bread. So I had some bread. I'm like, all right.
Just
so then I went
BRB 10,000 calorie challenge.
Girl, when I tell you, I went to Burger King. I got a double Whopper. I choked that down. I couldn't finish it, but I tried to choke it down. I had like some fried apple pies. I just was eating anything inside. I'm like, all right, before I weigh in, I'm going to knock out the rest of this half gallon. Like, I don't know if I can explain the pain that I was in. My stomach was like, I looked like I was pregs. Like my stomach was like protruding.
Did your belt not fit then?
Nope.
Or did you have to go way looser?
I had, thank God, at SB, I have a medium belt and a large belt. That large belt, I brought that large belt just in case. I was at the very, very end, and it was still tight. Like, I have bruises on my newly formed love handles, all that. I was in pain, but I got it done. I was, man. So like, I weighed in, like I said, I weighed in at 108, and like, we started the meet. I didn't throw up because I hate throwing up. I did throw up. By the time I got done with warm-ups and we're getting ready for attempts, I already dropped back down to like 101, like 101, 102. Like my body was not gonna, I mean, I just, dude, I was, I feel bad to TMI, but I just kept peeing and peeing and peeing and peeing and peeing. I'm like,
oh yeah,
I'm flushed out. Like, and then at the end of, obviously I had to get drug tested because I set a few like records or whatever. Like,
yeah.
I was like, hey man, I don't want to look at a urine cup right now. Just let me they let me chill for like a couple hours. Yeah. Like, dude, that was the most, I'm never gonna do it again, but I wanted to be able to say that, that I had a top 3 all-time IPF points in 3 different weight classes. So we were able to do that. And you know what I mean? Like, I just, I don't know. I'll never do it again.
I think that's cool. I can't see I have weighed 84 plus for a deadlift only meet for the Arnold because we did the Grand Prix and then the deadlift meet the next day, and I couldn't cut 2 days in a row.
No, dude, I wouldn't. That would kill you. Like, that's just so much on the body.
No. I mean, because like I do like 5 pounds, so I mean, like, it's doable, but that was like the worst decision to do a deadlift only meet, like the day after a full power meet. Like,
man, but you know what, you had the experience.
Would not recommend.
No, not at all.
My body was fried. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this today.
Yeah, man. I did. I think 1 year. There was 2 years, 3 years of the Arnold that I did the full meet. No, I did the bench only first, and then I did the full meet afterwards. Man, just from that alone, my body hurt so bad, and my bench was trash. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to do like 480, and then the next day, I was like, I think I can repeat that performance. I was like getting like 450, 440. I'm like, yeah, I'm never doing that again.
Well, and it's also like hard, like mentally, because you're just like drained.
Yeah, and you just want to. I mean, you want almost. Sometimes you just want it to be over. Like, once like,
you're like, it's a relief.
Oh my gosh, you're so glad for it to be over and to be able to not necessarily gorge yourself, but just be able to eat what you want for at least a day or two. Like,
just sit down and not have to go lift for a couple days.
Oh my gosh, man. You know what I mean? But then after like day 2, you're like, all right, I need to get back in the gym.
Yeah, we got itching. Yeah. No, like, you feel like you're doing something wrong, not being in the gym.
Absolutely. Okay, so I mean, I need to keep asking questions. We just keep talking about lifting, and I mean, whatever. We're just rolling with it. Like, so like, are you just chilling until Nats? Not chilling until Nats, but are you just gonna train till Nats? You're gonna get a tune-up meet, or what's the deal? What are you thinking about doing?
I'm just gonna
what that you can talk about.
Oh, I'm just gonna wait till Nats, to compete wise. I just don't see the point. I mean, I did that local meet November, and that was over a year because I waited over a year to do that meet. Mm-hmm. I just think the longer the off season, the better. Like I said, to stay healthy and to just keep building. Yeah, man. Have more time to build up your total without.
I feel you on that. I feel you.
Yeah. I don't know. I was gonna. I mean, like I said, going to Florida next week, hoping to make it down to Texas here, maybe March.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know when we're gonna. I'm still tripping that we got Natasha. I'm like, okay, done.
Yeah, I looked her up. I'm like, she's a big bodybuilder. Like, she's like over 1 million followers. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, man, I met her. Oh my gosh, when was it? I don't know if it was the Arnold that I met her at, or the Olympia. I can't really remember.
Is it that I didn't know her? I didn't know her before. Gosh.
Well, I follow a few like Canadian lifters, but like I've always been a big fan of Jeff Nippard, and I don't know if I met her through him. I don't know how. I forgot how I met her, but I mean, she was nice, she was funny, and I don't even think she had like 10,000 followers then. I don't even remember, but I was like, she's grown. Like I don't know, man. It's just really cool to see like how our little family's growing. Like
Group is growing, yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude. I was like, I don't know. I'm excited to kind of see how that goes, but like I was really hoping that we could, get everybody in and we could all, train and kind of kick it or whatever. I just, eventually, that would be nice.
Yeah. Just gotta see how things go.
Yeah, like I think like I'm the same way. I don't think I'm gonna, I honestly, to be 100 with you, I don't even know that I'm right now like 70-30 and even doing that. Because I just I have so many athletes that have qualified for it, and that's the part that I've been really, really working hard on. It's the coaching aspect of it. And but it's so hard to turn off that competitive, feel. But my thing that always it's happened to me ever since I played ball is as soon as any season's over with, if it's track, football, whatever, I get tendonitis. I get like tendonitis in my quad tendons, like leading into my knee. So I get it after every season. So
that's no fun. It's always the cartilage that can't.
Yeah. So and for me, it's always after a meet. Every time, like for like a month. I was just like, crap. Now I got to wait for this heal and I have to work on this. And so I did that meet in December and I'm right, like, how it is like with tendonitis, like you're right at that. It kind of, it's
better and then it kind of
and it
comes
hits
back.
That hard. I'm at that peak where, it's at the most painful part. And then I got like a week or two of that and then it starts dying down. And I just these next 2 weeks are going to suck so bad because like I'm sitting there looking at my training and don't get me wrong. I'm super grateful that I can even go, 550 for sets of 5, but the original,
it's not what you're used to. Yeah.
No, because on paper, coach has me going 630 for sets of 5, not 550. So I'm like, man, but I'm in pain. So I'm like, as an athlete, this is going to be my question to you. As an athlete, is it hard for you to shut it down? Not necessarily when you're in pain, but when you just, obviously the more you lift, the more you get to know your body. But is it hard for you to man, I want this number so bad, but I know that I'm hurt, or I know that this pattern is going to lead to me getting hurt. I need to shut it down. Is that a hard thing to do, or do you find it pretty easy to do? Like, I'm just going to shut it down.
I mean, it's always hard when you're lifting lighter weights than like what you're normally used to.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've had little injuries, tweaks here and there. So like, I don't know, if something hurts, like obviously you know how to listen to your body. You can take a step back. It sucks.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks leading up to Rodnats 2019, I strained my upper hamstring tendon. Like that literal like pain in the butt, kind of like sharp.
Yes.
So I did that sumo deadlifts, and then I trained through it leading up to the meet, but like it was just the most like excruciating thing.
That is pain. It's just like sharp.
Yeah, so I didn't deadlift for like 2 weeks leading up to that meet. That's not terrible, but squats were hard. But like, I don't know. So I mean, if you're injured, you have to take a step back. I always try to find little like workarounds to try to like get the movement in like still like somewhat. Like I've also had like bicep tendonitis before, like up by my shoulder. Like
that's the worst, dude. That is the worst.
Yeah. So like
you
basically
can't squat.
Oh well, I'm bad. I just throw like a lot of Tiger Balm on it and it kind of numbs the pain. And I don't know, I found like flaring my elbows more on bench and keeping a wider grip helps with it versus narrower and tuck.
Oh gosh. Girl, if I flare, I'm gonna bite the bar. I will bite it.
Like I'm not that good. I'm not as good as benching at you. I should probably ask some tips, but
it comes like, you know what I mean? Like you started better with squat than I did. That's for sure. You know what I mean? Like I just started really good with bench and I had to catch everything up. It's so much easier to catch your bench up with your squat and dead than it is to catch your squat and dead up with your bench.
Yeah, I mean, because squat helps with everything. I mean
really everything. Like
bench is a horizontal squat.
She's right. And like that's it's weird because my old coach, that was the thing. He's like, so what are your goals bench? I was like, I want to bench at least what one of these dudes is squatting in my weight class.
That's nuts. That's
I want to
nuts.
come with. So my goal every single time, you know what I mean? And people tell you, if you develop a really good bench, you may not be benching what, a primetime competitor is doing, but at least for me as a 93, I'm going to be benching what one of those 93s is squatting. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so in my head, I'm like, I am coming to this meet with a big squat, a baby squat, and a solid deadlift. Let's try to grow off of that, and
That's
so
crazy.
yeah, I mean, and so that's how I program. That's how I program my athletes. Like I want them to develop a baby squat with their bench, and it comes. It comes. I promise you, it comes. Like you said, squat helps everything. And bench is one of those things. Like if I get that bicep tendonitis, it is a wrap for me. I can't do. I try. I mean, it's just I know it's going to hurt.
Once you get it warmed up, it's usually good though, but then it hurts after.
Oh my God. It hurts. And I always put my timer on, like, all right, here we go. 6.5 minutes and go. And I just literally wait for it to happen. I'll just sit in that pain for a little bit. And then around that 2-minute mark, I'm like, all right, it's going to subside. 3, 2, 1. There it goes. All right, I'm done. All right, let's go again. And I mean, I know it's coming. I accept that it's coming. And, and again, I have to go through that. Usually, honestly, when one happens, the other one happens. So I'm like, all right, well, here comes the tendonitis round. And it's always post-meet for like a month and a half, and then I'm good to go. But that's always for me, that's always a hard part. So you got the Tiger Bomb. What I do, I'm the worst. And I don't suggest that anyone do. I almost make a tourniquet with everything. So I will literally I don't know if SBD ever sent you the knee wraps, but
no, I haven't asked.
Yeah, they sent me knee wraps at one point. And so I take my knee wraps and I wrap it around my shoulder.
Oh, no, you don't.
Bro, I'm not even done. I'm not even done.
This is like the bicep pump.
I take them, I wrap them around both shoulders so that I don't even feel it. And then I'll take the large wrist wraps and I'll wrap them right around the bicep. And then I don't feel anything. The only thing is I can't close my hands. And so if you ever see me, and this is people, if you're watching, now, if you ever see me with a hoodie on and I'm kind of moving like a robot, that's because I'm wrapped up all the way just to try to combat that tendonitis. But I'll have to get up under the bar and I'll make one of my boys like literally grab one arm, the other one grab the other arm, push me under the bar, pull my arms up, and then I'll grip.
Does that give you a little bit of a spring too?
Well, it just keeps me locked in. I don't feel anything because once I let it,
you're cutting off circulation. Yeah,
man, I'm trying to cut off everything. If I could cut off my arms at that
I want to feel nothing.
I want to feel nothing. Just what I mean. Like but it's just one of those things where like, it's going to go away eventually, but you have to work through it because you can't not work on your tendonitis. You can't.
Yeah. It takes forever to go away. It's always like the longest thing to heal tendons.
And especially for us, we're almost like time sensitive athletes. You know what I mean? Like
a week off. It's like I lost it.
I'm not gonna get it, man. I lost all my games. There you go.
I'm not. There's no way I can do nationals now.
No, dude. This is so fun. I'm glad you said that because I told my coach this 2 days ago. I'm like, man. He's like, well, if you're hurting with this tendonitis, let's just take like a couple weeks off. You know what I mean? And we could just work on the rehab. I'm like, dude, if I take 2 weeks off, I may as well just cancel nationals. Who says that out loud?
Why? We're so dramatic as lifters.
We are the most dramatic athletes out there. We do the most minimal.
It's over.
Yeah, I'm like, if I take 2 weeks off, nationals is over. Like, dude, it's in June. You know how fast June's gonna come? Like, I don't even know. And so he goes, man, it's not even Black History Month yet. Yeah, but it's coming, dude. Like, I have no sense of time. Either it's me lifting and then nationals is tomorrow, as far as I'm concerned. But I mean, it's hard for us to recognize time because we are so time sensitive. And it's like, if I miss this 2 weeks, that throws off the block. Then it's like almost have to start over. So then that leads into another block. That's 2 blocks I could have had between now and nationals. Now that's only 1 block. I can't get the gains that I need. I'm trying to win, dude. It's just it's so dumb. We're dumb. But
I was talking with Joey the other day, and I'm like, because my squat has been a little bit lower than normal right now because I had to take 2.5 weeks off of it after my meet. I had to get like a little procedure done. So like I like squat has been feeling a little rusty, and I'm just like, Joey, I've lost 5 pounds. My squat's not doing it. Maybe I need to move down, or just I don't know if like new nationals like. And he's like, we have 6 months, man.
Yeah,
well, 6, and like I'm like, well, that sounds longer than 20 weeks.
Yeah, you got to break it into like where it makes more sense for yourself. Like and that's the hard part, man, because I look at myself. I'm like, this time last year, I was repping 650 for 5, and I'm doing literally 100 pounds less, and I'm in pain when I'm doing it. But then I also remember like, when's the last time
you're at your peak? But you're at your peak or whatever. Like you're doing that. You're healthy then.
I can't remember the last time I did a local meet was 2012. That was the first. I haven't done a local meet since 2012. So like
it's different.
It's way different, and it's in the middle of the year. Like I've done one meet that wasn't nationals, Arnold or Worlds. Like and so I was like, dude, no wonder I feel this way. My body's not used to having a meet in December. Girl, what? No, I've never had a meet in December. This is my first meet ever that I have in December.
Yeah.
And, like I'm like, no, like there's no way. So I'm like, all right, well, but normally based off our old schedule, we would be getting ready. Like, oh, I guess we're getting ready for the Arnold. We don't have to worry about that now. So I'm like, all right, cool. Now we have all this time to heal, you know what I mean? To like work mobility, to work little things that we weren't able to work on, to go into nationals. Like this could quite possibly be the first nationals. You ready for this? The first nationals I go into that I'm not in pain.
That'd be amazing.
Every nationals I go in pain. Every one of them. I'm talking like.
Is it just the meat? It's just the meat.
Yeah, man. So like I think it's just so I mean it's kind of a throwback to how it used to be because nationals used to be like in July. So it'll be kind of cool. It'll be kind of cool seeing how this all works out. I'm excited to see how we all do. I think it's gonna be great. But then I mean. I still don't know like how Worlds, all that's going. I just don't know how in it.
How do you feel about the location? Do you feel fine?
Belarus? I'm not going back. I'm never going back to Belarus.
Yeah, I was really, really excited when it was supposed to be South Africa, but
same.
With the state of affairs, everything that's going on over there, I mean, let's just say I'm not gonna risk my life going there.
Exactly. Well. I won my first world championship there, so I always have a special place in my heart in that respect. But when we were there, I mean, it's weird to say it out loud, but when we were there, like even like, I mean, obviously there was a lot of really ill stuff that happened there. You know, I mean, I've talked about it on the King List podcast. If you guys want to know what I'm talking about, go listen to that one that I have a 6-pack. It's there on his podcast. But like. The one thing I just didn't appreciate was just they did not treat Black people that well when we were there, and I just was like, this is so weird. And I thought it was just me. I'm like, maybe it's just the way the way I am because I'm just I treat everybody like I've known them for years. Yeah. And in some places in Eastern Europe, it's not like that. Like you know what I mean? It's not like the States. It's not like Texas. I'm such a Texan through and through the way I treat people. Yeah. So like we're everybody's friends. So like I thought it was just me, but then Ray was like, man, it's hard to be Black in Belarus. I'm like, oh, I'm so cool. I'm not going back. I will never go back. So I mean, and I have no problem saying that. I mean, I think the hardest part for me as a lifter, the hardest thing I've done so far as a lifter was I just told Pete straight man to man, I'm like, hey man, I have no intention of going back to Belarus. I don't care if I win this thing or not. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I mean, I knew like if nothing else, I know that, I'm going to go back to South Africa because I'm just going to go as a master's. I'll go have the time of my life because I've always had a great time going there. So I'm like, well, I'm still going to Africa. I and I can still chase all the open records as a master's. So I'm cool with that. I do not want to ever go back to Belarus. I don't wish that on anyone. And I think that's why I was excited. Well, I mean, I'm a 42 now. I turned in December 22nd. I'm a 42-year-old man.
You don't look like it. You don't seem like it. That's crazy.
I feel like it. Listen. When you come down and you watch how long it takes me to warm up, you're like, oh yeah, that's an old man right there.
Oh, don't worry. I will too. My hips take a while to warm up.
Yeah, like but I mean, but being like a 40-plus-year-old man, and I grew up in West Texas, and it's, the part where I grew up at, wasn't the most advanced in terms of socially. So, I've seen some things, been through the things, and so there's nothing they could really do to me to Belarus that I hadn't had done to me in my own hometown. So you see things. I mean, and that's just kind of the way of the world, and the only way it's gonna ever change is we have to change it. So, I mean, that's part of what we try to do. But I mean, it's just. I'm with you. I don't want to risk my life. I mean, the political unrest that's going on there right now. Like, I'm sorry, I love lifting, but I love my life just a little bit more.
Oh yeah,
just a little bit more. Yeah. And so it would be cool to hopefully. I mean, it'd be cool maybe hopefully that they have a Sheffield again, because then that'll just be another baby worlds if we have Sheffield again. I don't know. I don't know.
I would say maybe a couple of years from now.
Yeah, like it would be cool.
I can't see it happening.
I can't see it happening anytime soon. At least not in Europe. But then again, I mean, they're not going to open up all the borders either. So it's just like, I mean, how you have a Sheffield? I mean, well, majority of the Sheffield, athletes are American, but like, how you going to have the Sheffield, without the rest of the world? So like, I just, it would be nice. It would be nice for this COVID thing to die down a little bit, and then for things to get as close to normal as possible, and then for us to go back to not necessarily our old way of life, but a more cautious, a more considerate way of life, to where we do consider each other's well-being and health a lot more. I just don't. I don't know, man. I like this lifting thing, and I like what I like. Obviously, I like what you do in this lifting thing, and I just hope that I hope that one thing that me and a lot of my buddies working on is really working on that idea of appreciating the athlete for where they are right now, rather than where you think they should be or where you think they should go. I think I look to a lot of athletes. I mean, I cite Ray, Blaine, Jen Thompson, Marisa Inda,
Kimberly
Wofford. There's a lot of lifters that have laid a lot of the groundwork, before we even, started doing this stuff. I mean, and I can take Ray out and still leave Blaine in. I can use Mike Teixeira. There's a lot of lifters that have, that have come and that are still in the game, that rather than appreciating where they are right now, and I can use you, I can use Daniela, I can use Keiko, I can use a lot of these lifters right now, that are lifting right now, that Ashton, that we're not necessarily appreciating where they are right now. And I mainly speak to American lifters, and I'm not to my international lifters. I'm talking about USAPL right now, that we're so caught up in the trend of what are they doing for me lately, and where should they be, rather than, hey man, let's enjoy where they are right now. I think we were so enamored and so caught up in the fact that Ray, was squatting 1,000 pounds, and that Blaine squatted 500 keys, and like, okay, so I wonder what else he can do. I wonder, Jen Thompson's, bench a 315. Like, oh, I wonder if she can bench 350. Like, we were so caught up in what we wanted, what was the next thing they could do, rather than realize, like, hey, what they're doing right now is otherworldly. Let's appreciate them for what they're doing right now.
Yeah, because I totally get that. Totally get that.
Because right now, Ray's 1,000-pound squat, I don't care what anybody says, that I will die on this sword. Ray's 1,000-pound squat opened the world's eyes to powerlifting more so than it ever had been in the last 10, 15 years.
Historical, yeah. Like no one ever thought that was possible. Like
no, like not that fast. But what do? We didn't like, oh shit, Ray did 1,000 pounds. Like it was on ESPN, it was on Fox Sports, it was everywhere. But rather than be like, yo, Ray just squatted 1,000 pounds, we're like, you know what? I wonder if he can do 1,100.
Yeah.
Blaine,
it's always like never. It's always what you can do next.
Yeah, it's never enough. And my thing is this: it wasn't the lifters, it wasn't us They were like, all right, what else can you do? Because we know how hard that is alone just to do that. There's people that don't even total that.
Yeah.
We're like, yo,
That's
that was crazy. There were strong, like Eddie Hall was shouting out Ray. Like there were like strong men that can't even do that, you know. And I mean, there's people that are on all the sauce in the world that can't do that. I'm like, there's people that are lifting equip that can't do that. And so I'm thinking, yo, this is crazy. This is monumental. This is unreal. And rather than enjoying what Ray did, we're like, I wonder if he can do 11. He can do 1100. He can do 500 keys.
It's like, no.
when I was there, every one of Ray's big squats, I've been there, thank God.
Yeah.
I was there when Blaine squatted 500 keys. And that was something like a lot of people never thought could be done. I was there at the Arnold. I was sitting right there. I was at butt level watching it. And I watched him go low, 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 and him get right above parallel and realize, like, hey, I'm not low enough. And I watched him damn near tuck his butt up under so he could get depth and pop out of that. I will never, as long as I live, I will never forget the feeling of seeing that and being like, I want to do something as monumental as that. Like, just that feeling. And it never was like, oh, I wonder if he can do 505. I wonder if he can do 600 keys. I was just, what? This man just squatted 500 keys like a boss.
It's surreal seeing in person versus like on video.
Know what I mean? Like
that's the weight of the world on your back.
Yeah, man. And I've been there and I've watched you just set the bar higher and higher and higher and be like, oh my gosh.
Like there is no limit. There is no limit.
Yeah, there's no limit. So rather than being that type of person that enjoys the moment, sometimes we tend to be like, all right, so what else can you do for me? Not realize like, hey man, can you even do that? That's what I had to catch myself. I'm like, all right, first of all, I can't even do that. So why am I asking this? Like, I wonder what else you can do. I wonder what else you can do. I wonder what else you can do. You know what I mean? Like, you think Amanda could probably, I think she can do this. I'm like, well, if you go pound for pound, that's like me doing like squatting like 900 pounds. Can I do 900 right now? No. So I should probably shut up. You know what I mean? So like so maybe it's just me being older and just enjoying the moment a little bit more. But I feel like we sometimes forget, like, we need to enjoy what these people are doing right now. Like, I think for me, I've had an opportunity to really sit back and enjoy the work that you put in, the strides that you're making as a lifter. You know what I mean? The more you,
and I've been watching you for way longer. You've been one of my inspirations from the start. I go to nationals like, that's LS.
This is not about me, dog.
In person, in the flesh.
Listen, this is not about me. This is about you. And again, I will say over and over and over how much I appreciate, not only you being on here, but what you continue to do as a lifter. You inspire a ton of people. Like, you inspire a ton of people, and and you do it in stride. And I mean, and it's not something that you ask for as a lifter. You don't ask to inspire anybody. You just go out and you just do something that you like, and it turns out to be something that you love. And if you're lucky, that thing that you love ends up being impactful to people. And again, like I said before, a lot of people identify with the hard work, and so you're in a very, very good spot. And like I said, you could stop right now and be considered one of the best to ever do it, and that is so awesome because you can just keep adding to your body of work. And if you're lucky, and I mean, and again, I don't think I'm just like this goat or anything, but I do think that I've been in a position to where I've been able to not necessarily impact a lot of people, but I just been able to interact with so many people over the years, man, and just see how awesome the sport can be in terms of, you can be an easy spokesman for this just by the way you treat other people. Dude, your body of work and the way you treat people are going to impact thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And I think for me, as an old head, that's the part I'm so excited about, because you've not even scratched the surface of that part. You know what I mean? Like, your lifts are gonna go.
I feel like a rookie, man. Like, you've been in the game for so long.
I'm telling you, man.
I'm just started. I'm trying to be like you.
You and the thing is, dude, you're gonna be better than me, and I'm excited about that. Like, the whole point of this existence that we call life is to do what you've done, right? Do it as good as you can and get the next wave ready to make it better. You know what I mean? That's the only way a society advances. That's the only way a culture advances. Like you've got to be at a point where you want the next wave to be better than you did. And just keep progressing and progressing and progressing. I mean, I would love for this to be the type of thing like, yo, you power lift? How did you? Oh, you got selected to do that? Like, I want people to look at powerlifting like we look at NFL players, like we look at NBA players. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and it's a possibility. You know what I mean? Like it, you know, I mean, the way we look at Olympic athletes, like, yo, you're going to Olympics, like, hey, yeah, man, oh, she's on the US team. What? Because the people that don't know powerlifting, like, yeah, I'm going to Worlds. Oh, you going to the Olympics? I'm like, no,
That'd
dog.
Be insane. That'd be insane.
That would be absolutely insane. And
I hope we get in sometime.
I really do. That, you know, I mean, for me, my job being, you know, I mean, not necessarily, I mean, pre-OG status is to make sure that your wave really helps usher that in. It's going to be your wave of lifters that really gets it to recognition to be considered an Olympic sport. I believe that in with all my heart.
There's a lot of young talent right now.
There's a lot of young talent. And here's the thing, and I will say it over and over, but there's a lot of young talent that's not going to make it. There's more people that are on your wave that aren't going to make it. It's not because they don't know how to train. It's just you have to be a different breed to do this sport.
100%. Yeah, you have to like eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff. Like you can't. You got to be all in. You can't be half one in, one out.
Yeah, man. And there's a lot of people that they get to year 2, year 3, and then it's like, all right, well, I kind of done what I can. I'm out of here, or I can't beat her. I can't beat him. I'm out. You know what I mean? And, you know, and that's fine. Yeah. But I mean, the impact that you make, the impact that, you know, Daniela makes, the impact that Russ makes, the impact that Keiko makes, the impact that, you know, Sean makes, that you young cats are making, that's going to be what ushers us into that next level. You know what I mean? And, you know, and we can't do it without you. So, I mean, I definitely want to tell you to your face, you know, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for what you continue to do.
Well, thanks for everything you've done.
Dude, you know what? That's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do.
You inspired us all to be.
Listen, that's what you know. What that's what the old heads are supposed to do. Now we get to the fun part before I let you go.
Okay.
I hope you have your Rushmores ready because we're gonna do 2. All right.
Yeah.
So you say you have 2 Rushmores.
Yes.
So you have a lifting Rushmore and a regular.
Or I have an older lifting Rushmore and like a newer.
Okay, so Rushmore. you have the OG Rushmore and then you have the new school Rushmore.
Yeah. So like the OG one. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No. So you're okay. So give me the OG Rushmore. Let's go. Okay.
So yeah, definitely. So like when I first started out, like I know I haven't been around the block that long, 2016, but yeah. Sometimes people bring up names and I'm just like, who? I'm trying.
Get there.
So Ray Williams for sure.
Absolutely.
Taylor Atwood, Jen Thompson, Kimberly Walter. Those are my.
Ooh, Ray, Jen, Taylor, and Kim. Okay.
Yes.
That's solid.
And my new one would probably have to be for like kind of like upcoming people like to watch. Like Ashton, for sure. I guess John Hack could have been on both walls, but I'm gonna say John Hack. I'm gonna say Jessica Butner.
Oh yeah.
And Leah Bavoli.
Yeah, out of France.
Like she's excited. She's
excited to watch.
Yes.
Yeah,
there's a lot more people I could pick, but I don't know.
Man. There's a lot of really, really good lifters out there, and there's a lot of just quality, which is good. It should be a long list, but I mean, and it should be hard to pick just 4. And I mean, like John Hack is one of those that John Hack is just
he's a beast. Yeah, I love him. Yeah, he's from Wisconsin. I've been to his place before he moved. Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind
of quiet, but like once you get him out of his shell, he's like the funniest person.
Like I'll always appreciate John Hack. I was working with one of my peeps with Caffeine and Kilos. We went to the CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
And so I'm in the booth. I'm just talking. Like, yeah, you should get this. This is nice. Whatever. I was here. You look kind of small. I'm like, what? I recognize that voice, and it's John Hack. I'm like, what are you doing here? I was like, oh yeah, from Wisconsin. This when it was before he moved to LA, and I was just like, all right, dude. I mean, and honestly, that may have been the first time we actually just had like a chill conversation that didn't involve lifting. And I was like, dude, I mean, we've talked a lot, but I laughed so hard because I just did not expect that to come out of his mouth. I didn't know who it was. I'm like, first of all, I know the voice. I just don't know who's saying it because my back was turned. He goes, you look kind of small. I'm like, oh, what a dick. I was so angry because at the time I was actually in the middle of a cut. And he was like, I think he was like 205, 210 at the time. So he was bigger than me. I'm like, oh my God, he's actually bigger than me. And that made me so angry, but I was like, oh, well, whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, John Hack is definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Jessica's like, she's definitely one of my favorites. I followed her for a while. Ashton's one of my little Texas babies, man.
God, can I add another one? Russ?
Yeah, man,
Russ has always been, Russ. Yeah. God, I love that guy. He's been the best. He's done some nice things for me, the community. He's just I think
shout out to Russ, BP and teammate Russ. What up, baby? Yeah, man. I mean, and like I said, like Jen Thompson, it's weird to say. I mean, Jen Thompson was one of the first, like, I don't know if you can call it lifting crush, but she was one of the first people I watched. I'm like, I don't know her, but I love her. Like I love a competitor. And you know what I mean? Like, and then, I saw her first and then I saw Kim. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I met Ray, and then it was just kind of like, we just became fast friends out of the gate, and just, and Taylor, we used to be both on the same, supplement company, everything. So I got to know Taylor really, really well. Taylor's one of my guys. Like Taylor and I, we have a very, very similar story in terms of how we got into powerlifting and everything. So, it's, even though he's 2 weight classes below me, we're both like the small guy, and he murdered me at the Arnold on points when we did a bench only. And I don't know, man. He's always been one of my favorites. He's one of those guys, like, that's a competitor right there. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, he is the GOAT 74.
He always shows up and is able to execute, man.
Doesn't matter if he's hurt or not, man. And like,
no, yeah.
There's so much of Taylor, man, that I mean, that I don't really talk a lot about, but there's so much of Taylor that I have tried to emulate and really add to my game in terms of being a complete lifter. There's not a lot of there's a lot of lifters I look up to, but there's not a lot of competitors I look up to. And as a competitor, he might be the best competitor that our eyes have ever seen. And we're so used to, like, Taylor, he's done this. Well, what else is he going to do? He might be one of the best, if not the greatest competitor that our modern eyes have ever seen. But because he's a 74, we kind of let it.
People want to see the big dogs.
They want to see the big numbers.
Weight lifted, Yeah,
man. Like if Taylor were a 93, Taylor would be literally squatting like 850. 900. If Taylor were 105, he would be knocking on like 900 plus pound squat. Like he's that good. So yeah, I always have to give credit where credit is due. Taylor might be the most complete lifter that our eyes have ever seen, and we haven't focused on it yet. But yeah, man, God, those are huge. All of those are super huge.
I named off more than I had to, but there's so many to pick.
There's so many.
Yeah. I'm just so excited for like the potential, like, and like, what's to come.
Who I'm excited to see. This might be the first time since, honestly, Ray and Blaine used to go at it, that we're going to see a not very competitive, but we're going to see a super competitive 120 plus class. Jesus is dope. Derek is dope. There's a few I can't really name that may be creeping back up in there. Like Dennis Cornelius. Okay. Why did I forget about Dennis Cornelius?
Oh yeah. I would add him to the Mount Rushmore.
Dennis Cornelius is one of the dopest, man. He's the reason I did the Arkansas State meet, because I thought he was gonna be there, but he pulled out last second. But shout out to Dennis Cornelius. You're officially goated, my friend. And
I
then,
respect the barefoot lifts, man. I don't know how you do it.
girl, I know you see me ripping off a dentist style, man. I started pulling barefoot so I could start rooting a little bit more and start being more aware of what my feet was doing with my sumo.
With the floor, yeah.
Dude, it changes the game. And then of course, I was trying to work on my ankle
full
mobility.
barefoot or socks? Like full barefoot?
Nah, girl, we lift sumo. How we gonna lift with socks? It's a wrap.
That's slippery. Yeah.
I'm too. Here's a little known fact. I have to work on my tension, especially my lower extremities, because between all the chin gymnastics I did over the years, I'm almost too loose, too flexible. So if I were to go on socks, I would end up in a full split, like no question. So I have to really focus on like rooting my feet in, and of course, when I do try to press it with my feet, I mean, you may not have that problem, but sometimes I have a problem. I almost rock back in my heels a little too much because I'm pushing from the ground too much. So yeah, I've been really. I have to work. I lift barefoot so that I can really see, because sometimes the shoes, me and my shoes, like sometimes I just, the shoes kind of hide and they mask what your feet are not doing, what they should be doing. So yeah, I've been working. Shout out Darrington Wright. He's one of the best at just your body performance. So it takes a team, man, to get to where you need to go.
Just don't drop away on your foot.
I don't listen. The angles look like they're close to my toes, but they're not. I'm way too paranoid for that. It's too. If I drop on my foot,
I live on the edge. I live on the edge,
man. Like, but when I have my wrestling shoes on, man, I will drop it on my foot. I don't even care. Like, if they have like the rubber over the toe.
Yeah, the protection. It kind of sounds soft. Your foot's good.
All right, I will shut up and I will ask you your last question. It's not even last question, but your last challenge.
Okay. I worked hard on this one.
I'm excited. So for those of you that listen, that tradition is we got to get a song in. It could be a song, it could be a theme song, it could be rap, it could be whatever. But gun to your head in an alley. The only way you make it out of that alley, you've got to be able to sing or recite 15 seconds of a song. Would you be able to do it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What song?
So I couldn't pick a favorite song because I don't have a favorite song. I love a lot of different genres, or however you pronounce that. I love freaking hip hop, rap, pop, R&B. I like dance, like electric music, old time rock and roll, disco, country, all of it.
It's a plethora. You like it all.
If you literally anything, I know it sounds bad, but like I hate heavy metal, and a lot of times they sometimes play that at powerlifting meets, and I hate heavy metal. I don't know. It's only one I don't like.
I don't understand. As hype as you get, some good heavy death metal will get you. Oh my gosh.
I do some metals I like, but if it's like really, really like raunchy, I don't know.
Oh man,
Oh man, he's second guessing having me on again.
I feel attacked. I'm gonna edit that part out. Note to self, edit that part out. I'm about to lose half my lips. Half my listeners like, she doesn't like what? We're out of here. We don't need this. Jeez. It's okay. You know what? I mean, it's apparently whatever you like is working for you. So I can't really talk much trash.
You can hear it on. I have that JBL Audio Boombox Disco speaker. Because I saw it at John Hack, so I had to get it.
Oh my gosh!
I'm always blasting that thing. You can hear it in my videos. You can hear the different music choices. Someday I'll play Cardi B. Some days I'll be playing I don't know.
This is my thing, and Arian makes fun of me all the time. He's like, I always know when LS is at a meet because I always bring my boombox with me. Every single time.
Yes.
In the warm-up room, every single time, like my music's playing in the back. I don't even care. I mean, I'll take the warning, I'll take a penalty, whatever it is, but my music has to play. Like I hate a boring warm-up room. I hate it.
Yeah.
And so like I literally like, listen, man, like at this point, and this is me just being honestly, it's just me just being very LS about a situation. I don't think I've earned the right to do whatever I want by any stretch. But I think I've earned the right to get that warm-up room a little hype. So then like I'll bring my music, I let people make their selections, all that crap. I'm like, hey man, whatever you want, we'll play. I do it at Worlds, I do it at Nationals, I do it at the Arnold. It's kind of my little traditional thing. Like I mean, like,
I wish I was like, I feel like we haven't been in the same session to do this.
Nah.
Oh, I'm missing out. I gotta bring a boombox.
We go.
I just bring my headphones.
Yeah, man. Like
that's way cooler.
I'm like, hey man, whatever you want to play, let me know. I mean, I have the aux. We go. And the last Arnold, I forgot my box, so I bought one, had it next day aired to me, so I can have it. So it's in my garage now, so I'm good. I'm sorry, but shut up. I digress.
Yes.
So what song are we going with?
My one song I picked because I really like the rap lyrics. Lose Yourself, Eminem.
Oh, I don't think we've had this one.
I'm gonna be honest. I could have done Ice Ice Baby. I really know that rap too.
Somebody did Ice Ice Baby. Who did Ice Ice? I think Six Pack did Ice Ice Baby.
I know that, but I'm gonna do Lose Yourself.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go now. Look, if you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip? Yo, his palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, there's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs, but keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud, he opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how everybody's joking now. Clock's run out, time's up, over blow. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes rabbit. He choked, he's so mad, but he won't give up that easy. That's all I got. Do 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 do. Ice, ice, baby. Do 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 do. Ice, ice, baby. All right, stop. Collaborate and listen. Ice is back with a brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly, flow like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will never stop, yo. I don't know. Turn out the lights and I'll go to the extreme. Rock a mic like a vandal, light a stage, watch Trump like a candle. Dance, rush to the speaker that booms. I'm killing your brain like a poisonous mushroom, deadly. When I play a dope melody, anything less than the best is a felony. Love it or leave it. You better gain weight. You better hit the bullseye. The kid don't play. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook when my DJ revolves it. Ice, ice, baby. Do, 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 do. Vanilla, ice, ice, baby.
Amanda, I'm not gonna lie. This was a blast. I know it was only supposed to go an hour, and it ended up keep going more and more.
Oh crap! What time is it? Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Listen. I talk, and I will 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 talk, and you know what I mean. Like you kept humoring me. I honestly, dude, I'm super excited about this. I'm super excited. We had a chance to just kind of chit chat, you know.
Thanks for having me. Seriously.
Yeah, man. Like, you know, like, what do you have to do you have to train today?
Yeah, today's a bench only day, so a little lame. But no, wait, that's your favorite. That's like your favorite lift.
My favorite. Well, right now, my favorite lift is squat.
The squat.
Well,
even with the quad tendonitis.
Yeah, it sucks, but you know, I'm weird like that. Like the hardest thing.
Decided.
I like the challenge of knowing, like, all right, it's going to be hurt. It's gonna hurt. I'm gonna be in pain, but I've got to maintain my technique throughout this whole thing. You know what I mean? So I'm at that point right now. But you know how squat is. If you lose confidence in it, you're screwed.
Oh yeah.
And so, like, I mean,
I
have no problem saying, like, you know, like going into, like, I mean, I didn't really push it super hard at the meet, but like I'm working on 800. I'm working on making 800 an actual lift in a meet for myself. But if I lose confidence in my squat, it's never gonna happen. Not at my size. I'm just not like, I'm not like a big dude. So like I have to be as confident as possible when I put that bar on my back. Otherwise, I'm toast. So if I let 550 defeat me, then there's no way I'm going to be able to add more. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's 250 more pounds I got to add to my back. So yeah, I love squat because for me, it's the most mentally challenging one. You know what I mean? Bench is one of those things that I love it so much that it's more of a natural thing. But when it comes to squat, I have to really focus up. And with deadlift is one of those things, like, I know I have to do it if I'm going to win.
Yeah. And in the crowd, I swear, adds like 10 pounds every time.
Oh yeah, deadlift. It's been years since I've not gone 3 for 3. Last time I didn't pull my final deadlift was when I was pulling for the win in Atlanta.
Of course.
And it was my first 700 pull, and I swore that I got it. Ask Joey about it. Ask Joey and Tina, because they both were there in the front when I pulled it, and I thought I had it. And Tina made fun of me for the longest because, like, I put it down like, yeah, I got it. Like, soft shoulders, like, what? This is how I'm built. This is how I'm built. But I couldn't, like, they wouldn't let me argue it. But, hey, I will shut up. Thank you for being a part of this.
Oh, my gosh. Don't mention it.
Like, this is huge. I don't know, man. Like, I don't even know. It's weird because, like, normally I have like, oh, so we're gonna end it like this, but we just like this was a super fun one. This is super good.
Yes.
Obviously,
part 2 coming eventually.
Yeah, man. So tell me, or not me, but I mean, for those of the number that don't know how to find you, which is the dumbest thing ever. How do people reach you?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram at miss.amanda.ann. Or on YouTube, just type my name, Amanda Lawrenson, and then for coaching, if you're interested, plug. Send me an email.
You gotta get coaching in, man. Yes, like listen, she is a champion and she makes champions. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a win-win.
It's a win-win. It's a win-win. Yeah, man. Amanda, thank you so much. Shout out you. Shout out SBD. Shout out BPN. Yeah, man. Shout out all our BPN teammates, all our SPD teammates.
Let's go.
Shout out USAPL for holding us down. Shout out IPF. Trying to think of what else. I think we got everybody. Shout out all the goats out there. Shout out Ray. Shout out Jen. Shout out Taylor, Kim, Ashton, John Hack,
Russ, Leah,
Russ, Jess.
And shout out to all you listening.
Shout out all the listeners, Corner Circle guys. We did it. We came, we conquered, we did what we needed to do. Amanda Lawrence, you are the GOAT in training. I'm excited to see where you go from here, and I'll at least be able to say I was there when it all went down at the beginning. I thank you so much for being a part of this.
Oh, thanks for having me. We'll see you soon. We'll see you soon.
Sure. All right, man.
At Nationals, you guys. Take care.
See you soon. See you later.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.
See you.
Hey, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Mainly subscribe, and then share it. Got it? Peace.
What's up, people? LS here. I'm sitting thinking to myself, there's some people out there that want to get stronger. They want to work on their swag. They just want to feel better. I have that solution. I'm messing. Listen, you can go to lsmcclain.com, my website, and you can get programming if you want to get stronger. You can go to my store and get swag. So you can get both of those things. Your self-esteem is going to go through the roof. All you got to do is go to lsmcclain.com. It literally has everything you need. I mean, I think I might even have a link to some dating websites. I'm not sure. I might be able to help you find the love of your life. Either way, go to lsmcclain.com. How's that? You know what? lsmcclain.com. Go there. Love you. Peace.